Very nice. Very nice.
Good evening, guys. What a super Sunday it was. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great Saturday, but it was a great Sunday for us as a result. But yeah, hi, Mark. Hi, Brian. Hi, Bez. And I think we're going to wait on Daniel coming in. He'll pop in at some point. And we're all rearing to go because I know Mark is rearing to go with all his like, woo.
No. I'm come.
Take it easy. We'll do a bit of meditation, shall we? Arsenal. Is that good? That's good. Right. Let's take on yesterday's game. I will start with you, Bez. Okay.
No pressure. Then only was the highlight.
No pressure. You're on first. Let's go for it. You know what?
Okay. First thing first. Yeah. It was not the best result we could have hoped for. No.
Clearly not.
It's not a loss. It's not a loss.
But it's not a win.
It's not a win. Exactly. It's not a loss, not a win. But meh. I'll take it with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
And pepper.
Yeah. Okay. And who stood out for you and who didn't stand out for you?
I only saw the highlights from what I heard in the, crazy gang of, such and
pundits,
such.
So-called pundits.
And the Arsenal fan base from outside us, that fan base in that dark corner, I heard Partey gave the ball way too much, sadly. My man, I love him. Marino didn't look himself, sadly. But that's the negatives out of the way. Positives, for me, one area from what I heard, he looks lively, and then he got taken off because I think he got a yellow card and then maybe an injury.
Yeah, well, potential. So Arteta tells the BBC, but, we've yet to find that out if it's true or not. What was your take on it, Brian?
So yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I thought Nwaneri had a really good game. I mean, obviously, the goal has a lot to do with that. I think once he came off at the half, like our tactics completely went to shit. They were playing well down the right side. I actually thought that he and Partey were matching up pretty well, even though like Partey should not be a right back. And Seema, I know you were saying something a couple weeks ago where we've lost like 80% of games where Partey has started a right back, something like that.
Yeah, actually, I have that right here. And it is basically when Partey's at right back, we only win 25% of the game.
So there we go.
Yeah.
I think once Nwaneri came off, we tried to play too much Route 1 football, and with them not necessarily parking the bus, but with them coming in with hard tackles and everything like that, I don't think we could do anything with it. I thought we had a lot of the ball and we're playing with it decently in the first half. It was fun to watch. It was one of those things where we almost may have been trying to be too perfect with it, which is a problem that we've had over the past couple of seasons, where we look for the perfect shot that 100% is going to go in, and that rarely happens. But that's my take on it so far. That's my take on it so far.
Okay, I'm going to take your takes and then I'll get onto it. So, Mark, what's your take? And then we'll start the nitty gritty.
Yeah, my take was Nwaneri had a shocker. Absolute shocker, and he lost the ball constantly. He never beat one player whatsoever. If you watch game back, he didn't beat any player whatsoever. When the ball from Mourinho goes through to him, he takes it on. Declan Rice takes a couple of players out because of the run that he made. And luckily for Ethan, and I'm not picking on him, he's 17-year-old. He hits a low into the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper, I thought, possibly could have done better, but it doesn't matter. And it was a great goal for Ethan, and I'm delighted for him. I think he is a very, very special player. Then we get to the time wasting. And we're in the first half. We've got a corner kick. Ethan goes up to take the corner kick. He puts himself in a yellow card. And I was on a half-time Arsenal space yesterday, and my point I went up, and it's the most reaction I ever got, and I said, please, Arteta, take Ethan off at half-time. Do not put this kid under pressure of a yellow card, especially when you have a Thomas Partey or right back, not his natural position. We need someone to help Thomas in that situation. And thankfully, Arteta can do that. So, yeah, for me, I'm not, please don't think I'm being negative against Ethan at all. He's just 17-year-old. He's still learning. But that wasn't his best game. That was Milestone. He was, for
I
me,
mean, let's talk about that. I mean, don't you think that him getting that yellow is almost like saying, do you know what? I've got to think about this next time. Because right now, all our players, what they're doing is they're actually thinking about how they handle in between. Apart from Raya, sometimes he's taking it a bit too far. But, you know, we're not kicking the ball away anymore. We're not taking our time. Timber might have done that as well, you know, when he takes the throw-ins, right? But I think Nwaneri is still at that age. He's 17. He's quite like, you know, it's like, oh, teacher says don't do it, and so I won't do it. I personally think he would have learned his lesson from that. I mean, it's his first yellow, right? I don't think he's got a yellow before. So that maybe it's a case of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's like his world might have fallen apart, you know, thinking I've got my first yellow ever. But he'll learn from it, and he'll learn very quickly from it. I mean, what's your take on that, Bez, at that point? Do you
I totally agree with you. He needs to learn his lesson from what I hear from you guys and from what I hear in the, you know, the other bits. Because I had a bit of a crazy week. Let's put it that way. Long story short. But anyway, I think he needs to learn a lesson to not be too clever. Because for simply be, he's a young lad. He's not timber,
I
as you
wouldn't say
said.
clever. I would say overconfident.
Yeah, because he's grown to the team now. He's grown to adapt around the team.
He's
not
the
the team
first
around
team
him,
player.
but him around the team.
Yeah.
Right now, it's all about him. Because the team knows who he is, but knows about him.
Yeah.
I might have my own moment tonight as well. I'll say this. I was 17 years old once. I dyed my hair blonde one time. I got told off. Why did you do that? Because I felt like it. Long story, right? I won't say it on here, but I did it. My emu stage. I did it. I dyed my hair blonde, for example. I personally think if it's Timber has played the leagues before. Timber knows how things work in the top tier football. I personally think Nwaneri needs to do the simple things simple, as you said the week, and hard things pleasant. You know, don't.
I mean, sorry, Bez, I'm gonna interrupt because I think it's a stronger point. The fact that he's stepping into big shoes. He's taking over Saka's role, literally. Okay, so he's gonna have to come with oozing confidence, and he's gonna come with what people will think is arrogance. Okay, so why not? He's 17. He might as well do it. I know I'm flipping it, but why not? Why are we not arguing that point?
Okay, I'll agree with you. Why not then? Let him be arrogant, but also let him be learned.
Well, I would not want to have a schoolboy in the first team then. I'd want someone to step up.
A young lad, I know. You don't want a man with a mind of a young boy. You want a man to behave like a man, right?
But we don't know that. He could be a very mature 17-year-old.
Well, so Twitter is to say, are you sure he's 17? Sorry, Brian.
Come, Brian.
Well, one of the things we have to remember is for you to get in any first team, doesn't matter whether it's Tooting and Butt Stuff FC from like, you know, the Southern Isthmus Premier, whatever the fuck, or you know, by far the greatest club the world has ever seen. You know, you have to have that arrogance. You have to say, yo, I can do this. Fucking watch this, guys. You know, check this shit out. And, you know, Nwaneri does, you know, he does that. Like he wouldn't be in the side if he didn't. And Mark, I wanted to circle back a little bit where you said Nwaneri, you know, had a shocker, had a bad game. So I pulled up a couple of things. I pulled up FootMob or FotMob, however you say it, and I pulled up Opta. So I was able to get some stats. Fatmob said he got a 7.5 yesterday. Rice had a 7.2. Partey had a 7.4. Raya had a 7.7. They gave Jesus a 6.8. Basically, everyone along the wings, they got, sevens or whatever. Everybody down the middle got, mid to high sixes. So that kind of feeds into, what I was saying, where, once Nwaneri came off, we tried to do way too much through the middle and didn't get anything. And if you go to Opta, and honestly, this is the first time that I've looked at Opta, Seema, thanks for pointing this over, or pointing this out to me. And this is something that I'm definitely going to look at, because I'm a big old nerd and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Nwaneri was one of looks like 3 of our players that had a shot on target. He was one of, I want to say, 2 players that had a shot in the box. And he did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, he may not have beaten a lot of guys on the dribble, but he was where he needed to be. And so, if you score a goal, you can't have but so bad a game. Like if I scored a goal, like I would lose my mind. I would never play football again, because I scored one and I'm good. So yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, Mark, and I'm more than happy to have the conversation about what you may see versus what I see. But I thought he had a pretty decent game yesterday.
We've lost Bez. There you are.
Some technical difficulties. I was just checking something Brian said as well. That's why.
Oh, okay, good. What were you checking?
Exactly what he said. For me, Ethan looks like he had the best. Well, he was the better player, speech marks, but apparently he just was able to finish the game.
Okay.
Sorry, I must have got that wrong then. I must
No, I mean, you have your opinion, so
yeah.
bring your
No,
opinion.
no. I'll give the opinion. The opinion is all the stats that you just pointed off there. There's no tissue, Bez, but
no, white flag means white flag. It's nothing to offend you. Nothing to offend you, mate.
All the stats that you just pointed off there, Brian, they were all the same thing. There was one shot by Ethan in the game, and it was a goal. That first and foremost, when he tried to take on players, it wasn't happening for him. I love Ethan. I think he's a special talent, and I am going to give Arteta amazing credit for the way that he's managing him. And then that needs to happen. And that's why he was playing at halftime that he did get taken off, especially being on the yellow card. I felt that needed to happen. So It's not like I'm saying anything bad against Ethan. And I'm surprised that Ethan on your stats is at 7.5. I'm very surprised at that. What he only played for 45 minutes, a lot of these players that you mentioned played for 90 minutes or 70 to 80 minutes, so there could be a difference there. But for me, I thought Ethan was not his best game, bro. And Brian, to come back, and I don't actually think that Ethan is a right winger for me. Yes, he took his goal. He, as I said, he hit it beside the goalkeeper. But for me, he's a number 10. And I think he should get more opportunities at that number 10. So I'm not like that. I'm not saying anything bad against Ethan at all for that. It's just I want to protect a 17-year-old kid on that right wing. And that's the point. But what I watched yesterday in that first half, he did lose the ball a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
It was. And also, there was a bit where Trossard was doubling up and helping Calafiori, and the distance between the two were very close. I've started watching for this. But the distance between Thomas Partey is not a right back at all. So the distance between Thomas Partey and an Ethan was massive, where normally when I watch Saka's there doubling back and helping Thomas properly. So that's a learning thing. That is a learning thing. I'm not calling the kid out in any kind of way. He is special. He's very, very special. But It was
But
just
what I
great.
would say,
It was
Mark,
pressure.
sorry to interrupt. What I would
That's
say
all right.
is, out of that, there were only 4 shots on target, and Ethan got one of them.
Yeah, do you know
4
what?
shots in the entire game. I mean, that's
Yeah.
horrendous.
It is horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. And fair play to Ethan. He was on it in a flash, and it was a brilliant ball by Marino, by the way. Everyone's giving Marino such a hard time in the Arsenal fan base. I'm sick of even trying to defend it off today. But for me, I thought Mourinho had... There was things I wasn't happy with yesterday, but the ball through to Ethan was it was phenomenal, and Ethan done brilliantly. Don't get me wrong, he done we know this kid's talents is honestly amazing. I just don't want his confident shot, Seema. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So I want to protect him a bit, if that makes sense.
When we're talking about Partey and Marino, I mean, out of all the corners that were taken, and if I'm correct, let me just have a look. Sorry, I haven't got this up yet. So it seems like Marino was making a bigger effort, but in fact, he was actually invading Gabriel's effort. Am I right in seeing that? Did you guys see the same thing? Or was there, these set pieces now, I think everybody's getting in on the act, but it felt like, Gabriel's headers just went way over. So either he was impeded, or they were just doing better marking, or the balls just weren't being, driven in because Ethan was taking them on one side and then we had Rice on the other. What was your take on it? For me, particularly, Partey did not have a good game. And I think there's a few times when, he got in for the headers and totally fumbled them. Okay, Brian, go on.
Yeah, it did seem like the box got a little clogged up. But I'll also say that we didn't have Saka, coming, putting those balls in.
Yeah.
I think Ethan, he does need to learn that. But we also didn't have Odegaard until midway through the second half.
Yeah.
So I think that was more of a matter of not having the service that Big Gabby or anybody like that needed. In terms of Marino, bumping, getting in the way.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily see that. I just think that the balls weren't put into the area where anything could really be done.
Yeah. And what was your take, Bez? Did you see any of that in the highlights?
Very small, but I'll say this. Yes, you bring Odegaard on, but for God's sake, why play Partey out of position? Like, I literally, on the chat when I was watched Liam's, as you know, it's called Liam and Mr. Arsenal podcast, my other, group, which is alongside Brave, these lot. I just felt like, why does he start Partey right back when he can put Skelly there? Put Skelly there. Without me losing my shit. Put Skelly there because you want a youngster to learn to adapt to play away from home. Because Brighton, and I'll say this, they're going to hate me for this, and I know a lot of Brighton fan bases, they know me very well. I'm very, neutral in this point of view, but I say this to defend my own words, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're a hostile fan base. They are vicious, but we know. They're a very unforgiving fan base because I was there against them. We played a week before Christmas. Yes, we won. They're like, hey. I'm like, well, clearly then, if you want to give us some, we'll give you some back to you. So, in my point of view, what I'm trying to say is, yes, last year won that 3-1, if I'm correct. Last season, excuse me. But why do you play experienced midfielder who's reaching that mid stage of his career now, which is like, where do we put him? Midfield or defensive unit? No. Put Skelly there, but don't ruin Partey's beautiful start of the season. For me, he's been our best player of the season so far. Don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, and he's up for a new contract.
He deserves it.
I heard on the radio yesterday that they actually made the same comment about Salah doing exactly the same thing, going, yeah, he's playing great this season. As soon as he gets his contract, let's hope he just doesn't ease off.
Exactly, Seema. Like,
So
think
what are
about
we
this.
expecting? Probably Partey to do the same?
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Let's hope Arteta now learns his lesson how he dealt Granit Xhaka. You bring Shani. You know me, I'm Albanian, and Granit Xhaka is Albanian origin, without being political. You know, I'm
Okay.
speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from my heart right now. And I
Okay.
love this club. All these merchants I buy. Yesterday I was heartbroken, okay? But does not mean anything. Today is a new day. Man
Yeah.
United does a favor, fine. But one same thing I say to you is the way we kept Granit Xhaka on a leash even in that last season. Season
Yeah.
before that. Credit where it's due. Arteta kept him there. It helped. But the way he let him go was a bit like you could have him one more season because it felt like, Patrick Vieira. When Patrick Vieira left, I just felt like, Patrick, you'd have played one more season. At least one more season. One last push. Maybe for that so-called Champions League. Who knows, in that Champions League run, we would have needed a cool, well, not just a cool head, but experienced player, midfielder, who clearly was an anchor. For me, Patrick Vieira was our anchor. For me as well. Now we have Partey anchor. Before Partey was Xhaka. Now we have no anchor in the midfield. It's like, well, it can't be all just Odegaard because Odegaard was back to his old self, but he needs a side man. And he has no wingman. I, for myself, if I have no wingman, I'll talk for myself. If I have no wingman, I am screwed. I am effed, if you want me to speak the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell the truth now. But sometimes with no wingman, I'll defend my own battles. My own battles very much. I'll do pretty well, I think.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say to that.
So, okay, let's leave Ethan alone now. The poor guy's had enough. Okay, space from all of us.
Cheers anyway. Cheers.
Bless him. In our culture, we would say when you talk about somebody so much, we give them a longer life. So, mate, you're up there. You're fine. Okay. So, let's go for the controversial penalty.
All right. So,
to me, it was not a penalty. Okay, I do believe in the beginning. I didn't notice that actually Saliba had got the ball first, but he had. So at first I was like, oh my god, the guy's having drama, right? He's gone down so easily because they need the goal. But when you look back at it and you think, no, there's definitely the PGMOL are against us. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. And this, I believe, like I'd written in our chat, it's stemming from a couple of seasons ago when Arteta opened his mouth, a few other managers opened their mouth, and the PGMOL will say, but do you know what? We're going to F you over. And that's where I think it's going. But I could be wrong. That's my opinion. But Brian, your take.
So I was thinking, because I do all my best thinking either in the shower or walking Annie.
As you do.
And if you remember,
TMI, Brian, TMI.
But so a few years ago, when David Luiz, bless his heart, he did his best. He did his best. But we were playing Wolves, and he absolutely wrecked Raul Jimenez. Like cracked his skull. Like dude needed surgery that day. Like just demolished him. And that wasn't a penalty. That wasn't a penalty. And, yesterday in the group chat, just watching the game here, Seema, like you, it's like, oh, all right, I could kind of see that as a penalty, but then going back and watching the replays and, having the discussions, like, no, that wasn't a fucking pen. Like I'm very much of the school where if it's a foul one place on the pitch, it should be a foul every place on the pitch. I don't want to hear this bullshit about oh, it needs to be rougher in the area. No, if it's a foul, it's a foul. And if that wouldn't be a foul in the midfield circle, then it shouldn't be a foul in the area.
Yeah.
And I heard there was a 3-second check on VAR. That's not even a VAR check.
Yeah.
That's not even a VAR check.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that PGMOL, as an organization, goes into a game, thinking, oh, we're gonna fuck Arsenal. I think that is the thing in the back of their head, though, where it's like, we're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on anything. We're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, the decision's always going to go against us. So that's a driven fact. What was your take on it, Mark?
I agree 100%. I've never seen in all the years that I've watched Arsenal, or not Arsenal, forget
Any
Arsenal,
game.
any game in the world where I've saw a head clash has resulted in a penalty. I've never seen it. And I didn't see it up first. I'm like you, Brian. I didn't. Up first, I thought Saliba just missed the ball when he headed the player. But when you saw the replays of it, he actually contacts the ball first. Now, how many times have I watched a goalkeeper maybe scrape the ball and punch a player and nearly knock him out? That's happened to us.
Yeah.
And nearly knock the player out, and nothing's given. For me, it is like beyond horrendous. There's you can't defend it.
I mean, what was the excuse that they used?
I don't know, because the VAR was 3
wasn't
seconds.
one, was there?
There wasn't. The VAR, as Brian pointed out, was 3 seconds. Now, to put that in perspective, if someone's offside, it takes them 3 minutes. But for here we are, it's 3 seconds. And
it's potentially a head injury.
Exactly.
Why have they not taken their time to look at it?
Exactly. Exactly. Get 3 men on for the 2 players. Take your time. Take a step back, and go and do it. It's just, see, I'm honest with you, I'm sick of it. And do you know what annoyed me yesterday more than that? We still had time, and we'll move on to that in the podcast. But you know what annoyed me more than that? Is the same team that we played, Declan Rice, touches the ball 6 inches and it goes out for a throw-in. Sick of yellow, red card.
Yeah.
How many times did Brighton kick the ball away yesterday in the way of restart?
Yeah.
It happened constantly. No yellow cards.
No yellow
And they just see, man, I'm tired of it. Honestly, I'm tired of it. It's just something has to give. Something has to give. And there was an Arsenal fan put it up that Anthony Taylor's actually a Liverpool fan, so why was he even officiating an Arsenal game?
Yeah. So here was another controversy, which I think is a controversy. So yesterday's game between who was it? The one that played before us, and there was a handball. No, it was the Newcastle game, and there was that handball, and it was given. Penalty was given, and no, it wasn't given, and then. Today, there was another same thing in the Liverpool-Man United game, but yet that was the penalty.
The penalty was given yesterday. What wasn't given was Anthony Gordon got a broken nose.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah, so Anthony Gordon got a broken nose, and they just put that through as a clash, rather than say the same with Saliba. But the penalty against...
it was given, but it went against...
it went against...
It was given to Newcastle, basically.
Yeah, it was given. Yeah. So the handball was given.
Yeah.
But however, the accidental clash is what VAR...
Even today, that was an accidental one. Again, I mean, did you guys watch the Liverpool game, Man United, and there was a handball in it? Salah took the penalty.
No, I didn't watch it today.
Yeah, that was also an accident, because the way the ball comes in, how does the player actually, control it? Because he's in the box fighting,
Tell me one thing then. Seema, tell me one thing. Gabriel got wrestled to the ground. You tell me right now, in this day and age, any football fan, any person with eyes and knowledge, he got wrestled to the ground, and it's not penalty?
No.
And also as well,
it's because the ref says it's not.
Let me. I'm telling myself, because that's why I have this on. I'm telling myself, okay, Gabriel Jesus got knocked out so cold on Monday. I watched the game because I've got my TV sorted just to watch TV. They're legal, but to watch football when I can from my uncle's account. Basically, he got a foul. He had his teeth broken. Yet somehow doesn't get checked. He's bleeding from his mouth. He's telling the referee, look at me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
Thank you, Brian. And I look at me, ref. We'll have this moment, okay, Seema. I don't want to dwell too much, but literally, like, ref, look at me, like, I'm bleeding. Nothing got checked. Nothing got checked. Fine this. What gets me angry is there's no transparency. Simply be, in this day and age, I don't want to be ruled just because of we're Arsenal fans. I see everywhere I go. And I'll go even that badge, Brian, it's on my Facebook badge, because apparently I'm one of the best Arsenal fans on social media. Apparently I'm an influencer, Seema. I didn't know I'm an influencer. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. 3 games in 2 weeks.
Woohoo!
Sorry, Brian, I think you missed that part, but I'm going next 3 games. I'll be going to them. But anyway, not to toot my own horn now. But anyway, I'm a little round 2. I'm allowed to. See if you allow me to, please.
Okay.
Also, as well, I noticed as well, they don't check our fouls. I was even there when they had to draw the lines. They kept us waiting, as Mark said, they kept us waiting a long, long time. Yet it's not the right decision. And that time Raya played against us, and I hated this goalkeeper since then. I love him when he plays for us, but back then I didn't like him. But now thinking back, he's an agenda against Arsenal. It simply because, I said it before, is the pain in the Arsenal to be an Arsenal fan in these day and age in football.
Well,
it's horrible.
let me step outside of my Arsenal face. Okay.
Look, done. I'll just keep this. I'll just keep this
Now,
on.
if I step outside my Arsenal face and I am another fan, I'm another supporter from another team.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, God, Arsenal fans are crybabies.
That's what I'm seeing.
We're always
Twitter.
crying. Why can't we just get on with it? Why can't we do what Arteta turns around and says, that game's done?
Okay. I'll come back to you. Not
It's very hard. I'm telling you, it's very hard. Like, because we're all passionate and we all analyze the game in our heads. But move on.
I'll come back to you quickly on that. I'm not going to argue with you on this, but literally, I was hearing the game streams. I literally cooked a 2 kilogram worth of duck on my own. I was like, yeah, I cooked it.
Thanks for the invite.
I'll bring you some on Tuesday.
I have no idea how much. I have no idea how much duck that is. I have no idea.
2 kilos, the whole duck, Brian.
that's magic numbers. I don't know what the hell that is.
Tell him 2 kilos means 2 kilos. 3 pounds in your terms. I don't know. Brian,
okay.
All right. In English, there's a whole duck. What the duck? Anyway, Seema,
let's carry on.
Yeah. So Virgil van Dijk got interviewed. Virgil, I love him, but when he's playing for Liverpool, I can't stand him. He says to the interviewer, "Oh, we got lucky today." This is how he talks, isn't it? "We got very lucky today. Not the best result ever, but I don't think that's great." And then the interview goes to him. I heard him literally in BBC thing say, "I do think we're a bit unlucky. Unfortunate. It seems that we didn't go away." I'm thinking, hold on a second. You lost your humbleness as well, Mr. Humble number 2.0. I love Van Dijk when he plays for Holland, but I don't like him when he plays for Liverpool. He's like, man, come on, brother. Stop behaving like this, And then the interview asked him, sorry if I keep this too long. He asked him, I've got a little cheeky smile with that. So he's thinking, I've got the referees under my belt now. I know what I say, and I can say it. He can say it, but if we say it from our fans' point of view, all of us included, or our players say it, or our manager says it, you know what? That's a taken off. That's bad. That's offensive. That's rude. So other teams do it now. It's just a thing to see from other fans' perspective. They do it as well. They cry as well. No, it's fine. We do it. Apparently, same old Arsenal was cheating. They say that's what they said on Monday, didn't they not?
Well, I've seen bits on certain people's feeds saying that we bottled it already.
Seriously, bottled it. Yeah. We just literally reached halfway through now.
We're literally not even. Well, we are kind of halfway, but yeah, they're all saying, you guys are just whinging because you're bottle jobs again, and we're like, really?
Okay, so 2013, 2014, Seema, Liverpool fans did the same thing when Twitter really kicked off. I used to have Liverpool friends of mine that all lost touch with me because I told them the truth. I said, guys, we're supposed to feel sorry for you since you won the title in 2019-20. All these years we're supposed to feel sorry for what? Feel sorry for you. Why should I feel sorry for you? Why should I feel sorry for you?
Well, let me jump in on all that. Basically, we were asking about transparency with refereeing and VAR. And I mean, at the end of the day, what does it matter if they literally broadcast in the stadiums, every bit of conversation that's going between the ref
they do
and VAR.
In American football, and also they do it in rugby here.
And basketball.
Who gives a shit if they who gives a shit if their thought process is fucked? That's the problem we have. And all that transparency, I mean you kind of take a step back a little bit too. You want your officiating to be completely impartial. That's why I really like the European referees,
UEFA.
like Trossard's twin brother. He is an outstanding referee because you never know he's there. There's the other guy that we had. I think he's like Serbian or something like that. When we played our last Champions League game, you didn't know he was there. He had a really good game. So, if your refs are shit, the transparency doesn't matter. And also, if you're piping the stuff in, like especially at some place as St. James's Park, or Stamford Bridge, like where you have the small stadium where you're on top. I mean, not small per se, but you know what I'm saying, like where the fans are on top of the pitch. You can have the fans influence the decisions, and you don't want that. And number two, I mean, I'm sure there was a 3 in there, and I can't remember what that one is now. But like a handball, I don't know what a fucking handball is anymore. Like honestly, I mean, you can't ignore those calls, but nobody knows what the hell they are. You can have the exact same thing happen in one game, and it's called, and in a game in the same time slot, it's not going to be called. Like there's no consistency, but unless you have the same referee that does every single game, you're not going to have that consistency.
Just interrupt Brian there for just 1 minute. I'll just have Mark's voice in my saying to me. Me and Mark for the Tottenham game, we did 3 podcasts that day. 3 podcasts, and we said to the people who may regard, we said they're inconsistent because they don't deliver their job. Their job is to do their job. Our job as fans is to talk about football, to enjoy it, to go to the games, to buy the merchandise, to behave ourselves, to sit down, not to stand up when there's no need to stand up, not to make any rude, obscene chants. I don't do them personally. I don't attack anyone like that. I enjoy to be part of Arsenal. I enjoy being an Arsenal fan. But if you're going to murder me because I'm an Arsenal fan, no, you don't. Like that day we played Tottenham, me and Mark did. I came from holiday scene the day before. You can ask Mark. I did morning podcast, afternoon before the game podcast, after the game podcast. Literally, I was like, Mark, please, 9 hours. I need to have a little power nap, and we both agreed. We had a wonderful day.
Mark's on a marathon, was he?
Well, it was not a sprint; it was a marathon. But the Scottish Brazilians scored. We're all happy. But we can watch it back if you want to. I was even on holiday as well around my birthday time, my cousin's birthday. We had a double celebration. I was literally on holiday, talking to Mark, half drunk in a podcast, in a restaurant, in our room, up and down.
No, I don't want to watch it back. Thank you.
No. That's a Villa game as well. But the thing is, I enjoyed it. But the thing is, these fan bases outside are people want to attack us with complaining. We're talking the truth, whether or not. Now that's what we say. Set piece FC. I embrace it.
That's the point I want to bring up. The set piece.
Please do. But let Mark say something. I want to wait for Mark to say.
Free kick that he took. I thought that was genius.
When?
He took one yesterday.
My dear, only watched the highlights. 3 minutes. What's 3 minutes for me? I have no time for 3 minutes. Yeah,
there's only 3 minutes. One where he didn't kick the ball in. He actually.
He put it across. He put it almost honestly. It was on 6 bits. It was unbelievable.
And then not one of them got into.
It was very explicit. It was very explicit.
Yeah, Marino touched it, but he didn't get enough contact on it for it to go on. But it was probably one of the best set pieces I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
To just quickly come back to Brian's point, in the UK, TMO is the VAR, as you put it in rugby, and what they do is the referee obviously doesn't even have to go to the screen. He'll just go into his microphone, speak out. All the paying customers, which is the best thing, paying customers are in the stadium currently that are getting neglected in the UK in football. It doesn't happen in rugby. He speaks out on a microphone, can you check A, B, C? And then they come back and they say no, yes or no, or whatever it is. And then the decision is made and it is 100% bang on. Why we've never had TMO introduced to football, it's a multi-billion-pound industry. Why are we not doing it? And the people that are paying to go to the football, I can sit at home. I know it is, Seema. I can sit at home, being Scottish, stick on Arsenal on my TV, and I know what is going on before Seema does while she's having her caviar and champagne.
I just remembered, Mark, what you say is very, very
I'm
valid.
gonna bring it in,
hang
man.
on,
I'm
hang
going
on,
to
let
hear
me-
while I'm on
hang on.
the podcast.
Seema, I'll tell you this as well. A couple of years back, I was doing ATP Masters. My first ever tennis game was Roger Federer and Djokovic. My best friend I know for 17 years, going almost 20 years very soon. Me and my bestie, we're just friends, okay? Me and my bestie went to see tennis in O2. This lady in front of me goes to me, can you shut up? Sorry, tell me, can you shut up? We can hear the referee just telling us what to do, everything around us. I'm trying to keep quiet during the game we play, the rally and so on. This is a big deal, yes? She told me, can you shut up? So, excuse me? I paid to come here. I can talk what I want. I'm in the sports arena. No, don't talk during a tennis game. I was like, what? My friend stepped in and told her, excuse me, you B, shut up. You shut up right now. She told my friend, you'll meet her one day, Seema. You will meet her because right now she's not very well, bless her heart. She's an Arsenal fan, diehard fan before I am,
Yeah.
Now this lady told me to shut up again. I said, madam, excuse me, I beg your pardon? Bugger off, man. And then they called security or something. I said, look, I'm not doing nothing wrong. And then they didn't eject me, but I just said, look, I'm allowed to talk in a sports game. But in that game now, the umpire can be heard. Yeah, but the umpire can be heard. The umpire can tell that the umpire can tell the audience to be quiet. He has to keep calm, to shut up, whatever. But at least we can hear that, as Mark said.
During the break, you can, because the umpire will just turn around and say, silence, please. So
yeah, but that one had music. He had like live, it was like NBA, like
that's
basketball
different.
arena.
That wasn't like a proper.
Yeah, but then she told me to shut up. I'm thinking, for God's sake, shut up yourself. I wanted to say 1 minute, like, who are you?
I can imagine Bez saying that. Brian, what were you going to say?
Brian, I mean, Seema, shut up.
Mark, you were talking. Dulles is right over here. I will fly over there. And we will have words. No, Mark, you were talking about how how the rugby guys, you hear everything. I think that's awesome. Like, one of the things I do like, watching hockey, watching the NBA, when I watch the NFL, because I really don't anymore. But, you have the challenges. You have the coaches' challenges, and, they will, call New York. It's the same VAR people, or replay, whatever the hell you want to call it, for over here. And they will go through it. And then once the call is made, baseball does it too. Once the call is made, they will go out and they will specifically announce, this is what we see. This is the call. This is why the call is made. And I mean, I know it sounds a little bit like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth when the transparency doesn't matter if the calls are wrong. But, to Mark's point, people are paying to go to these things. People are paying for, the cable or satellite packages to watch this stuff. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We need that information. I don't think anybody's going to lose fans
Brian,
over
honestly,
it,
I think that's one thing that America do have absolutely bang on, and I've only seen it in the UK and rugby. It's the only place that I've seen it. I don't think, just put this in.
Mark, they do it in a lot in not in Test cricket so much, but if you go in the IPL, they actually speak to the captains while they're on the field about how the game is going.
Seema, have you seen Scotland's cricket team? I don't watch it. Seriously. So cricket.
My dear friends as well. I noticed one thing, sourcing, but in British touring cars, which is similar to NASCAR, by the way, Brian. I'm a big,
it's not
the same, but you know what I mean. Basically, the commentator can talk to the driver to see what they're going through, so at least they know what's going on with the driver's mind. Okay.
Yeah. I just don't. Sorry, Bez, I don't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, carry on.
Just to Brian, the point I was trying to make with that is, I don't think if I'm sitting at home, even with the satellite package, to watch a game, that I should get the information before Seema does, who does that. And I think that for me is completely wrong. That is
You
completely
see,
wrong.
No,
we're
I
in the
agree. I agree.
stadium, we don't even
agree.
know until it pops
Exactly.
up on the screen, VAR check.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing that they've started doing now, Mark, is that they have they actually put up the decision, what the decision was and why it was. It
Yeah,
comes up on the screens. And there's only two big screens at the Emirates, one in each
Yeah.
corner. That's it.
yeah. So if you're sitting in the middle, you could be miles away from either. But the thing is, that I think the microphone is a major thing, Brian, and I think that needs to be introduced into football massively. See, if a person makes a mistake in life, they're allowed to. We all make mistakes, Brian. Let's not be silly here. We all make mistakes in life. Every one of us have done it. So if you make a mistake in life, it's okay, but justify your mistake. Justify it. And
Well,
then
also,
VAR to come out afterwards and say, like, if that was see the penalty incident yesterday, for me, if the referee didn't give it, I don't think VAR would have gave it. Okay, and that is where the system is broken, because either judge it properly and make it clear cut, black and white, that this is a penalty kick or it's not a penalty kick, or let the referee explain why he's given it, or at least show him the screen. Actually, I just know I can't. There's no defence. I can have no defence on that decision yesterday, and I feel sorry for all the fans that wrote the games that have to tolerate this. It's just it's diabolical in my eyes. It's diabolical.
Think about this too, right? Think about this with VAR. You know, we were talking about, you know, a VAR check taking 5 minutes or whatever it is for, you know, a tiny little toe offside, right? If VAR is supposed to be a clear and obvious error, which it's not, you know, they'll just go to VAR whenever the hell they want. But instead of having slow motion replays, you know, replay it from multiple angles, but at game speed. Or if you want to do slow motion replays, guess what? You have 30 seconds at that screen to make your decision. And then if you can't overturn your decision based on either of those, then guess what? Call stands. You know, and yeah, you're gonna get some calls wrong. And you know, one team is gonna be fucked either way. But at least that way, you know, it tries to, you know, eliminate the decision is going to be the decision, you know, and if it's a bad decision, it's going to be a bad decision, and you know why. If it's a good decision, it's going to be a good decision, and you know why. If that kind of makes sense.
Please, and I'll say this very politely, very kindly, with a big heart in my sleeve, excuse me. Basically, we played Man United in 23-24. It was 1-1, could have been 2-1. Scotty Gabriel, she's Butler Neo from the Matrix. I use that. Oh no, that's cheating. How can he shift back his body ladder to make Garnacho offside? I'm thinking, what are you on about? What are you on about?
Oh, that was such a smart play. That was such a smart play.
Literally like the Neo from Matrix, when he does the bullets like this.
To have recognized that.
Yeah,
that
2-1
was
to us.
such
Then
a
they said
smart
the
play.
corner is a cheating thing. What Declan Rice did is cheating because he did a knockdown with his arm. Sorry, with his hand. Excuse me, that's your arm? No, I'm thinking that's your arm. That's your hand. That's your hand. Fine. 2-1. Then a 3-1. Oh, Jesus used his arm to control the ball. I'm thinking, are you for real? The 3-1 as well. They're so salty, man. I'm sorry, these fan bases. They're so salty. It's like,
so the other thing I want to bring up is that we're talking about the, you know, the referees and everything. You know, we do. Does anyone ever understand that the pitch actually has microphones all the way around it?
I bet it, yeah, because that's what you hear the thud, tongue, like in a movie. You hear like.
Why is it that Sky, TNT, Amazon Prime, all their cameras could not pick up any of the conversations that were going on? Especially when the ref goes over to talk to the lines person, they suddenly go off. But also with the Freedom of Information Act that we have in this country, why is it we cannot call for those conversations that they have with the VAR, with the refs and the linesmen? Why don't they ever put them out there? They never put them out. So forget even having it according to how, you know, rugby does it. We can't even bring those out unless.
But Arsenal
Huge controversy.
could Arsenal not request the voice recordings of?
I'm sure they can, but what will they achieve? Is probably what they're
Yeah,
thinking.
they'll achieve nothing. But at least if it's out in the public domain, is the main thing,
And
because
also,
it lets us put more
also
pressure on.
knowing how long they can actually request that within, or is there a time limit? But freedom of information is for basically people like us to go in and say, right, we want that. There might be a time limit, a time scale. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it is a conversation that needs. I would like that to come out. I would like to, because Brian, you're absolutely right. You're not the first person to say this. It was a 3-second clip. They looked at it for 3 seconds. So I want to hear what they said in the 3 seconds. I do.
Same.
But then with the Freedom of Information Act thing, like if you pull those transcripts, okay, like at the end of the day, what's that going to do? Like, when
it's
Arteta,
not going to do anything, but what it will show is basically what they're saying. That's all it is.
I'm sorry, my dear.
But all it's going to do, all it's going to do is piss PGMOL off at us.
Stop
again.
Because what you said was over 3 seconds. I mean, just the sentence. That sentence. You know what the PGMO? Stop. That was 3 seconds. That's how long they looked at it.
Okay, I'll say this. Wasn't it back in the day?
There's no way they looked at it.
Sorry, Brian, my bro. But back in the day, Seema, was it nothing 1-1 Sheffield United? Apparently told us you cheated. And Wenger requested a replay. And people said, oh, Wenger's a softie. Why did he request a replay for the game? Something they can replay games then, if that's the case. Replay games. Let's see who comes on top. Replay the game. That's why they replay.
I think there's a lot more involved in replaying a game. It's not just the club saying turn up at the stadium. It's to do with the police, the council, the safety board.
Okay, tell me this then. Who follows men and female alike? Both sides of the pace where I follow. Let's say I have one day I have to deal the same time the females and the men. The males and female. Why are they playing the same day, the same kickoff? Who created this crap?
Well, that's a conversation for another podcast.
Yeah. Seema, do you know why I would like to hear the voice of what happened on that? I want to hear it because I think in 3 seconds they said to the referee, "There's nothing to look at." I think that's the 3 seconds.
Well, all they said was.
But then why even why even say say it? It's not something.
I'll say this, Brian. I'll say this to say to you, Brian, as well. Why do you now players are noticed they do this to the referee? They talk to the referee with a cup of their mouth.
Yeah, because they don't want people to
you got something to hide. Of course, I know what I'm saying, but they hide in something. Come on, you can see Joao Pedro. He's a nasty piece of work. He looked fine. He had a little patch there, and then he thinks, "Oh, got another scratch." Ref, ref. He headbutted me, but no, you went to Saliba. Saliba then went to you because he had to do something. He's called instinct. It's called a lion's instinct. You're literally defending your
territory. And they would call it in-game tactics.
No, it's inclusive. For me,
no, they would call it in-game tactics. That's why you play dirty. And that's part and parcel of football.
Okay. When Sosi came up with the Premier League, Seema, Mark, they literally made this pitch smaller on purpose for us to lose. That was never got mentioned until decades later.
Yeah, but today, did you not notice in today's game with Liverpool and Man United, their own players were slipping over, but Man United was slipping over more because Liverpool are very, very good at overwatering their pitch. So, I mean, we learned our lesson.
They did that last season. I'm aware. Yeah. No, it was last year as well when Zinchenko got turned over by Salah. Not to dismiss you, Seema. What you're saying is 100%. What Mark's saying is 100%, and what Brian is saying 100%. I want to speak for the Arsenal and other decisions that are going away. Yeah. I don't speak for other fan bases or for other teams, but I speak the truth, which is my club that I love. They heartbreak me yesterday. I had a good start to the year. I had some personal drama, my personal life on Thursday, but that's so be it. It doesn't mean it'll affect
I have a baby trying to crawl out of a crib. Sorry, guys. I will catch up to y'all later. Thanks for the time.
See you later, Brian. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, okay, Bez, but at the end of the day, we all woke up this morning and we were like, we still love our Arsenal.
Of course we do. Why do you think I'm wearing this proudly today?
There we go.
It's 36 years officially this spring that we actually did it. Fine.
Okay,
Fine.
let's move on. Just for like, we've literally only got like 6 minutes left. Okay, because we're into the
Yeah,
hour
see you
today.
see you Tuesday, Seema. See you Tuesday.
What I
See you
want to know
Tuesday.
is, seeing how United played today, I'm actually worried about when we play them for the FA Cup. Even though we've got a game on Tuesday against Newcastle, and looking at how Newcastle played, they are fast paced too. I'm worried about these next, even though it's Carabao Cup. You know, I had confidence going into the game on Brighton that our boys would do a good job, but clearly they did not perform very well. And I was the first one to put my hands up and say that was a poor performance. But I'm worried. I have a sneaky feeling they're going to lose.
I've
And I
got
don't want that.
I've got that as well, Seema, and I highlighted. I was on the Gunner Talk this morning, and to say my piece. Tom's a very hard person to speak to regarding it, because he's like very positive Arsenal fan, and I went on deflated, and I used the analogy that my tyres have been let down completely. But see, Arsenal Football Club, do you know what they do to us? They had, and I used this morning. When it comes to transfers, right now I think Arteta needs help. He needs help. He needs forward players coming in. Yesterday we put on Martin Odegaard ill, and he looked like a Sunday league
He
player.
looked ill. He actually looked ill.
Martin Odegaard for me is Arsenal's most important player. My captain is the most important player. So I was devastated to see Martin like that. But Arteta needs help. And what our football club does is we hesitate in transfer market all the time. And I refer back to the Thomas Partey signing. If you remember that, all Arsenal had to do was trigger the release clause with La Liga. We actually annoyed Atletico because we didn't even tell them that we were going to do it. And what we did is we waited until the 11th hour of the final day to go and trigger that release clause to get Thomas Partey in. If that was your intention, go and do it on the 1st of January. And right now, this is why I don't want to be negative. I want to be positive regarding Arsenal Football Club. I love this football club. This football club is everything to me. I honestly, I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is check my freaking phone to see what is happening with Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
And it's every day. But every day we are subject to mismanagement and owners, and that is why I come over with my point. Sometimes I've done it the wrong way, and I'll put my hands up to that. But I am not confident. Newcastle are flying going into the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
They are flying.
Yeah.
Can I see Arsenal coming out with that in 2 legs? I can't.
Yeah.
What are we going to use? More context that we've got an illness, we've got an injury. Every team gets some.
Yeah.
Yes, we're getting it above maybe others at this moment in time. But our football club is just not doing enough. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
I know, because he's the manager, he's going to get the blame, but the buck doesn't stop with him. The buck stops with the fact that he's given the money. He's not been given the money, but what the reasoning is, I don't know. Because you know me, I mean, I was not having the whole thing that we were talking about, the Cronkies and all that. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's actually. But then, what I was going to say prior to this, why is it that we're not looking at the fact that maybe we're being very specific and very not picky, but we are looking for the right player to come in. We just don't want to go in the market and just pick anyone. They're watching. They have been watching and following. The Arsenal scouts have been out there, from what I've seen around. And my nephew's a footballer. So, I hear from him, in the grapevines what's going on. Because he's been out, because, he plays in Croatia, but he's in the UK at the moment because they're on leave. They have got a, what's it called, season break or something, their winter break. So he's due to fly back. So he's been going out and about and meeting scouts and, going to trials and watching other clubs. So, they do go and watch. We just don't see that part of it. And I feel that maybe they don't want to make any mistakes. They don't want to bring anyone in. They want to get a specific striker and not rush it. That's my opinion. What are your guys' opinion?
I'll let Bez take it.
Go, Bez.
Okay. For me, personally speaking, I don't want it as well. I don't want just any signing. I personally don't want any signing. Once you see someone like you do with the, sniper, go get him. Don't fuck around. Because past the watershed, I'll say it how it is. Do not fuck around. Because when we try to sign I'll say some recent examples. When we tried to sign Aubameyang, that was beautifully done. Lacazette was a bully. We saw what he did. I'm sorry, I love Lacazette, but he was a bully. You don't go foul a young man and then pretend nothing happened. That's why, and he put his hands on friggin' is it Cedric Suarez. You don't do that as a player. That was a very bad example in my eyes. And then he saw that Aubameyang was better, and he's like, oh, you know what, I give up. But now, why is he playing so well for Lyon again? Because he's their captain, and then all this, all that. Also, one thing I want to say to you as well, when Ozil got sold, the way he got treated was absolutely heartbreaking. I'm sorry. I'm from near that territory of the world where Ozil was from, origin country. That was disgusting. All politics aside, I promise you again, it's not political. I'm saying, I'm speaking from the heart. What they did to Ozil, this football club, was disgusting because he refused to play for a team that clearly, for us and for a country that clearly promotes bad stuff about certain, religion, which is not nice. I, for one, have to deal with other religions, but I'm a liberal, peaceful man. Yes, I embrace what he did. But now they're saying he's the bad man. He's the lazy man. He shouldn't belong for this club. This fan base, who said this, the certain other side. I mean, that's disgusting.
Yeah, but you see,
imagine
that goes
that
on that we don't know about. So when it's not just in the football, it's in any job. You're not bigger than the job itself. You are.
I agree. We spoke about this together in our private conversation, which I can't speak about it. I'm not allowed to speak about it. But you know what happened that time I told you? I lost someone. I said, how can you support me? You should know how to support me in that hard time. I said, you should know. And all she did is, look, I'll show you. All she did is this. She did. She kicked me out of the office. She literally told me, can you get out? Thank you very much. Bye. I was like, excuse me? That's what she did. Seema, I'm not being sexist, but she literally kicked me out. I was like, okay, bye then.
Right, well, let's get back to football, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for bringing that and telling us. And I feel for you. And it's not right for people to treat, anybody like that. Even as fans, as human beings, we've got to be, because no one knows, with the person's face in front of them, no one knows what they're going through. So
I agree. Yeah. But anyway, see you on Tuesday, by the way. See you on Tuesday.
Yeah. Go on, Mark. What are you going to say?
No, I've just said just quickly because we have went over the hour. So just quickly, Seema, for me, I'm expecting more from Arsenal Football Club. I expect more in the transfers. I expect them to do it quicker. And we still had 30 plus minutes yesterday after that penalty was awarded, and we never done anything about that. So if people are out there thinking Arsenal fans are just crying, we're not crying, we were not good enough, and there is context to it. But at the same time, there is also blame, and the blame has to lie with Arteta, and it has to lie with the owners as well, Seema. So that's just my final point on it, and I think that is fair to say. If we want to win the Premier League, our standards need to rise. As simple as that. So it's not excuses. This podcast has not been about excuses at all. It's just we're fans speaking facts.
Yeah. That's it. And we all have our own opinions. They're not anyone else's opinions. And we appreciate everyone else's opinions because we're all fans and we all want to have a say. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Bez, for today. And thanks, Brian, for coming in. Missed you, Daniel. And thanks for anyone else that's in the chat. Thank you so much.
See you on Tuesday, Seema. See you on Tuesday.
There we go. Come on, you Gunners.